Welcome, everyone, the ones that are joining us. We're going to get started in just a minute. So feel free, if you guys have any questions, feel free to post them in the chat. I believe it's working now. Now it's working. Okay, now, if you guys have any questions, this is going to be fun. And I'll introduce myself. My name is Deanna Thompson. I am the Executive Director of the Luxury Resale Association. And today we have Elise Whang, the CEO and co-founder of LePrix. I am a big fan of meeting and talking to and learning from interesting people. And that's kind of what I'm building here as a series. Just learning how people got into this industry, how they're navigating it, the issues they've had, the wins they've had, and learning more about not so much the company itself, but the people behind it, because I think we can all learn a lot from each other. And that's one of the core principles of the Luxury Resale Association is community. So I'm super excited to have Elise on. Again, any questions you guys have, feel free to post them in the chat, but this will be fun and we'll get started in just a minute. Thank you guys for joining us. I know it's early for some of you on the West Coast. I'm on the West Coast, so. Oh my God, it's my pleasure. And if you guys have any ideas on people that you would love to see me grill, put them in the chat. I'm happy to do this. I love doing this. I love learning how people get into this industry, what their backgrounds are, how they navigate it, because, you know, owning a business is hard enough. Owning a business with a family, a husband or a wife, and just all that life throws at you. Like, I know, like, I work alone. I work out of my home on the West Coast, and I can go stir crazy. I can completely lose my mind on days. So, you know, I just want to learn how people do this, how they navigate life while running, you know, amazing companies. So this is Elise Whang. Caveat here, I've known Elise for years, and if you know me, you know I've been in this industry like 15 years. I've worked at Entropy. I know a lot of you. I'm behind Closet Full of Cash. Elise, I've known, I think I figured it out last night. It was like 6 or 7 years. Honestly, 100%, she is one of the good ones. She is. I trust her. She is kind. She is caring. And I'm so proud to call her a friend. So I'm super excited. So welcome everyone that has joined us and maybe watching on the replay, because again, I know it's early. My name is Deanna Thompson. I am the Executive Director of the Luxury Resale Association. And today we are talking with CEO and co-founder of LePrix, Elise Whang.
Woohoo! I'm so glad to be here. Thank you, Deanna. That was such a kind introduction, and you know, right back at you. You are amazing. I admire you. You know everything and everyone in the industry, and so glad to be part of the Luxury Resale Association's webinar. But excited to be here, and thank you for inviting me. And let's kick it off.
Yes, super excited. So for those that you don't know, Elise, okay, she's the CEO and co-founder of LePrix, but LePrix wasn't the first. It actually started as Snob Swap. So I would love to hear your journey, how you even started this business, what you did before, and why and how you pivoted to LePrix.
Yeah, sure. Okay, so once upon a time, I was a lawyer.
Dang.
And our parents were immigrants. You know, they wanted to come to America to live the American dream, give us, give their children the best opportunities this land could provide. And they literally came with almost nothing. And they came here to, you know, actually study. And they met in New York and they fell in love, and, you know, magically, I don't know what they were doing, but magically the stork dropped me off in Queens, New York. Anyways, growing up, you know, we really just had choices, career choices, like being a doctor, being a lawyer, being a pharmacist. or an engineer. And, I really bombed at biochemistry. But I wasn't bad at talking. So I was like, okay, I'll choose to be a lawyer. Um, Anyways, I went the law school route. And, in the meantime, coming from an immigrant family, we're always thinking about savings and how, finding good deals, but also appreciating quality. So that's where high-end thrifting came in. And one of my sisters, introduced us to high-end thrifting. Justine, who's the middle sister, and Emily is my younger sister, who is my co-founder. And so we would just hunt and then, show each other our loot. But anyways, went to law school, and thrifting and resale hunting was my happy place. Was lucky enough to get an offer at a really fine firm in private practice, and my first foray was in white collar crime. And I worked on some pretty cool cases. That's another, conversation. But um, while I was burning the midnight oil, I kept thinking, gosh, I really wish I could go back to, this awesome designer consignment shop, that awesome vintage shop. And it was really hard to access all the best ones online in one place. So
Yeah.
standing in line for coffee one morning, and a lightning bolt just like hit me in the head. And I was like, well, why isn't there just one place that just features the best designer luxury, businesses in one place online? Why isn't it so like convenient enough for me?
Yeah.
Um, Besides hunting on eBay, where it's just massive.
Yeah.
And so this was probably back in 2014. And yeah, just started to work on a business plan on the side. And, just to let you know, I loved being a lawyer, actually. I loved, it was a grind, but loved helping people solve problems, right?
Yeah.
And that's when lawyers step in, when you have like a massive problem and you have to call your lawyer. But at that time I was an associate, really like, in war rooms with lots of documents and trying to find that smoking gun and, working on preparing for depositions. And it was a lot of work.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, that lightning bolt just hit me in the head, and I couldn't stop thinking about, what can we do to make it easier to, access pre-owned luxury online from the best businesses in one place.
Yeah.
And so that's how Snob Swap was born. And that was the first iteration of the company. Snob Swap came as I was sitting in it was like 2 a.m, sitting in the kitchen and thinking about all these different names. And being in the resale space, it's just so exciting to see the many different ways people can enjoy resale. So
Yeah.
swapping with my sisters, hunting at the best designer consignment stores, going thrifting, um, going to estate sales. So anyways, like Snob Swap was probably the worst. Let's just be honest, it wasn't a great name. Try to
I
say it
love
10
the
times.
name. I love that name.
Okay,
I
try
want
to say it 10 times
to
in
I
a
want to
row.
ask you a question before we go on to LePrix.
Yeah.
Do you remember when you made that decision? Okay, I'm going to leave my corporate
Yes.
job, my corporate paycheck, and I'm going to jump off a cliff. Like
Yeah.
what was, because I know that's a fear that a lot of people have, like, how am I going to do this? How am I going to survive? So what was the tipping point to where you actually said, okay, I'm going to do this now? And you said
Yes.
goodbye to lawyering.
Yeah. I was pregnant. I was probably hopped up on a lot of hormones, lots going on. Probably not thinking straight, but No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, I mean, I think it was part of that was true in that time of my life. I don't know, like there are moments in your life where you're like, this, life is going by too fast. And I need to, and I remember thinking about it. And, I was happy with my job. At that time I had already gone into the revolving door into the federal government. And people there were great. I was happily newly married. I was pregnant, starting like my adult life. And I just thought, okay, that lightning bolt was like something I was obsessing with. And I thought, you know what? Life is short. I'm going to I'm going to bet on myself, give myself a chance to do something different, to actually pursue this idea. And, talk to my husband. I'm so lucky to have a great partner and supporter. Talk to my sisters, biggest cheerleaders, talk to my friends, and, even surveyed our people about this idea of this platform where you can access the best designer consignment stores in one place. And I like to do a lot of like talking and researching and validation.
Yeah,
And one day I was in the car, I was talking to my husband, and, I was talking about it, and he said, do it. Just you can always go back to being a lawyer. It's not going anywhere. And so I applied to an accelerator program, or, some people call it incubator.
yeah,
Got into 1776, which was a very, popular one in DC.
yeah,
A lot of great companies came out of there, including Hinge, on the matchmaking app.
yeah,
And, they required you to be a full-time founder. None of this like on the side stuff.
yeah.
So went all in and took the leap, and gosh, I haven't really looked back. I
But
haven't looked
that's
back, and it's been such a crazy journey. But yeah, that's how that was the moment.
That's awesome. And I
Yeah.
want people to understand, like, I mean, you've obtained massive growth, but you haven't done this on your own. And I think that people that start businesses, okay, I'm the worst at this because I'm a control freak. I like doing things my way, but I'm learning that, you know what, it's so much better when you have people around you that you can collaborate, that you can
Yeah.
talk to, bounce ideas off, or, even having mentors to help you and to guide you. Because every day, I mean, again, I've been in this industry for a long time. I learn new stuff every single day. And one thing that I really try to do is check my ego, because we all have one. But there's people, I want to surround myself with people that are way smarter than me, because that's going to help me grow.
Yeah.
And I know that you did that. You've done that. And, you know, starting from an incubator, and then here we are 10 years later. I mean, kudos to you for what you built. Okay, now let's get back to pivoting from Snob Swap to LePrix.
Yeah, so exactly, Deanna. Like it does take a village.
Yeah.
Building a business is like having a child, but a very needy child. And every having a founder is so helpful. And having a team, that believes in your vision and will get up every day and help you build something
Yeah.
is amazing. And having that team is, one of the keys to success. I mean,
Yeah.
I think it is the most important key to success. Um, but there's a lot to build. So getting to the point where we pivoted um, was probably the second lightning bolt. And what had happened was, Snob Swap, we went from, having and this is a lot of entrepreneurs do this, you want to do everything.
Yeah.
So we had swapping going on, we had people were swapping, and that's really hard. We had amazing stores online, and we're trying to create this marketplace for them to sell. And then we saw that our store partners were buying from each other. And we talked to several of them and realized that you know what, we could probably help with that. And so we started to help our partners source bags here and there, and realized that it's really hard, it's very time consuming.
Yeah.
And we walked in those shoes, like even flew across the globe to help source. And it's what we realized is it's easy to get inventory, like it's easy to get people to consign. Everybody wants to sell things from their closet and turn it
Yeah.
into cash.
Yeah.
It's really hard to, unless you have this amazing list of consigners
Yeah,
or
exactly.
sellers, it's really hard to get the right inventory. And you really need the right inventory to build a good business, right? So we started helping some store partners source 10 bags here and there, 30 bags here, and then it became hundreds. And so this was all on Google Sheets, and it was like that for, I don't know, a year or so, and it crashed. Yeah, and we were like, okay, there's something here.
Yeah.
This is where we're probably adding more value, because at the time when we were Snob Swap, we had The Real, we had Tradesy, Poshmark was growing, there were Shop Hers, Threadflip, like there were all these players in the space, focused on the consumer side.
Yeah.
But who was really focused on the business side, like helping entrepreneurs and small businesses be, more efficient or more scalable. And so that's where we saw where we were needed, and most needed. And so in 2019, our amazing dev team, like, helped us digitize the first and bring on the first Japanese auction online into the US, multiple. And so that was really cool, because there's a lot to do there.
Oh, God, yeah.
Yeah, like from translations to currency exchanges to making sure we try to get the right things on the platform. It was a lot. And so we turned our, original legacy platform on its head, and made it into a B2B platform, which is LePrix today. And that was 2019. And, we kept like the consumer facing side going for a while through COVID, because we knew that we had to be around to help, at least, help our partners that were on the platform during
Yeah.
COVID when everything was shut down, help them with some online sales.
Yeah.
Um, and then in 2022, we decided to sunset the consumer facing part, which was sad, because, it's like your
Oh,
first, not to be
yeah.
overly dramatic, but it's your first baby. But you know what? It's how I like to think about it is our baby went through puberty, and now it's, the B2B. So that's
Yeah.
less. Um, but yeah, it was in 2019, we saw ourselves as, we set ourselves on a mission to really digitize the B2B space, and be a partner for resale companies, and help them navigate through it, because it is really highly fragmented. There's a lot of hassle, there's a lot of unknowns, and it's really hard to do it by yourself. So that's what we set out to do.
Okay, so a couple of things. 2019, this industry was different. So the fact that you saw the need for that and started pivoting then is huge. Because again, wholesale was just kind of starting then. It's not like it is now where you see, 100 different companies offering wholesale. What I find interesting is I don't think people understand the depth of what LePrix is, because I have conversations and they're, I tell them what I know and they're like, oh, I didn't know that. Like you have, like, I'm not going to name names, but you have the biggest players in wholesale on LePrix. And I'm just going to go ahead and speak for you. It's all pulled through API. So you've got auctions in Japan, which, if you guys think that you can just go ahead and, do an auction or go to Japan and buy, good luck and tell me how that went. You have all these auctions coming in and then you have stock. So literally any business that is a luxury reseller has access to almost all the stock in the world, when you think about it. And the way you guys have made it, and okay, number one, these auctions happen all the time. So the fact that your platform actually works with, 10,000, 20,000 products every single week, changing all the time. I mean, you can find anything you're looking for on LePrix. To me, it's a no-brainer. But I'm interested. Okay, here's something I don't think people know is that you have offices elsewhere. So you're based in DC, and where are your other offices? Because I think people don't know enough about your company and they would be shocked and super impressed to learn about it. So
Oh,
can you
thanks.
tell
Thank
us
you
where
so
your
much.
offices are?
Thanks. Yeah. We have an office in Paris, which is amazing. And the team there they've been in the industry for a very long time. And they're fairly new, probably almost 2 years old now. And then we have a brand new office in Japan, in Tokyo. And amazing. Our team members there have over probably 20 years of experience on average each. And it takes, this industry, it takes a lot of relationship building. Reputation is everything,
Yes.
in this industry.
Yes.
And, you know, we wanted to build a team in different hubs because we're always trying to do better.
Yeah.
And I know there's a lot of things that we need to work on. I think I'm so proud of, the team and our partners that have helped us get this far. Like it's pretty neat, very cool to, as you said, to have this platform with so many suppliers and sellers, like of the most trusted
Yeah.
on one place, where people can source and access auctions that are going on, in a different time zone,
Different
all,
everything.
yeah, everything. And we're normalizing or homogenizing all the different data, all the customs, all the currencies just for our partners, mostly in the US. I mean,
Yeah.
99% of our partners that are sourcing from LePrix are in the US currently. But yeah, it's a global business. Luxury is global. So
Yeah.
no surprise there that what we're doing is building a global business.
Yeah. And, you almost have to be, you have to be global, especially, having an office in Japan, because that's where, it seems like that's where all the pre-owned goods come from. What are like issues or hiccups or hills that you want to run over with LePrix right now? And, how are you tackling those? Because I know like the fact that even when you mentioned TradeZ and ShopHers and, ThreadFlip, none of those companies are around anymore. I mean, some were bought out, some closed. Your longevity is a testament to who you are and the leadership and the company that you built with the people, your teams. So, you know, what are the issues that you're facing right now, and how are you tackling them? And then what do you think is next for the industry and then LePrix?
Yeah. I think from a customer point of view, one of the things that we're actively working on is lead time and help helping basically get orders in faster
Yeah.
to our customers. And that was the purpose of opening a Japan office, because
Ah,
more than half of our supply is probably coming from there. But
yeah.
there are so many other locations too that we're also exploring and making sure it makes sense for our business partners who are sourcing. So, but that lead time is probably the most challenging because it is global and it's more of a real time buy. So, what
Yeah.
makes this different is that we are purely B2B from other wholesalers. We're purely B2B. We're working with very like a lot of different suppliers and getting their inventory available real time to our buyers. And so, one retail buyer could be sourcing from multiple supply sources.
Yeah.
And so having to aggregate that and put it all together, and then inspect it and re-authenticate it to US standards, takes, some time. So I
Yeah.
think what we are focused on is not only trying to better explain what we do, because
Yeah.
there is a lot of sausage making before it gets packaged up and,
I love that phrase.
Um, and yeah, lead time I think is going to improve dramatically with having an office in Japan.
Let me
And
say one thing here.
yeah,
I've heard this before, that, oh, we love LePrix, but it takes so long, like
yeah,
3 weeks maybe, to get your items. When you and I'm just going to go ahead and speak here. When you understand LePrix and how massive their supplier list is, and it is global, it's not like they're getting it from the store down the street. If you're a business owner, plan ahead. It's not like, oh my God, somebody's going to come in and ask for a Chanel. You've been in business, you know this industry, you know your market, you know what people are looking for. Plan ahead, do your buy so you are safe. Like, we all know the summer months are like dead, but come September through January, you're going to be packed. So when you look at it, I mean, plan your business. That's it. Do your buys, make sure you have enough inventory and it's rolling in so you're never out of stock. And again, this is why I love LePrix, because I can do everything. Like, I've spent a lot of time on LePrix. I don't buy, but I look and I lust. I can find things that I know I can make over 100% margin on. But, and trust me, I've done this twice. I've owned 2 companies,
yeah,
just make your plans. You know what your customer wants, source that. And the great thing is I know LePrix has amazing people in the office that can help you, so I just wanted to kind of defend that, because that's what I hear. And I'm like, really? Like, there's no reason for that, plan your business. There you go.
yeah.
I have,
No, yeah, it's so true. And the partners who allow us to help them with their product planning or demand planning, whatever
yeah.
you want to call it, do 10 times better,
Oh God, yes.
leaving money on the table. You're not I mean you're a business owner, you know your customers. You don't want to have a customer come in or go to your site and not find what they want. And
Exactly.
that's leaving money on the table.
Yeah.
So a little planning, and we can help with that, goes
Yeah.
a long way to growing your business. And
It
I'm sure a
really
lot of people
does.
are already doing it, but
Oh God, yeah.
that's the best way to grow and plan the right products for your customers. And yeah, it's so much less stressful too.
Oh, it is, because then you have control of everything. And
Right.
this, again, like I know there's amazing wholesale companies here in the US. I know them all. I like them all. What is different, they own their inventory, so you're privy to what they have on hand at that time, which you may get in a week. That's great. But if they don't have what you're looking for, you're screwed.
Right.
The great thing, again, and you know what, I promote companies that I like. If I don't like them, I'm not going to promote them. I don't get paid for this. I do it because there's companies that I just think make sense for your business. With LePrix, you could go on there every single day and see new products. If you're looking for something in particular, you know, something obscure from 20 years ago, if they don't have it, reach out and they could probably source it for you. And I'm talking vintage Chanel bracelets or belts to vintage Fendi to, you know, Birkin 25s, like anything you're looking for. You want trunks, you want clothes, they can find it for you. And again, as a business owner, you plan, you know, you, again, plan your business. Sorry, I kind of
Thank
got off on it.
you. Thank you.
Well,
You're
it
making
just,
me
it makes
blush.
sense, you know? And the
Yeah, and
thing
we're
is,
pushing watches now
oh my God, and
as
watches
well.
too. And
Yeah.
the thing is like they take authentication seriously. Like everything is doubly authenticated. The watches are authenticated, everything is. So when you can go on a website to source, click add to cart, click on authentication. I mean, why wouldn't you have somebody else do the heavy lifting for you? Work smarter, not harder. And that's what LePrix does. But I love the fact that you can find so many deals that can hit your margin. You see the product. And if anything gets shipped over that doesn't look like it did in the pictures, they're going to let you know so you're not stuck with it. So I truly believe that LePrix is a true partner for business, and they don't sell retail, so their whole focus is making you successful.
Right. We're
That's
not
my
out
commercial for
there.
LePrix.
Thank you. Yeah, we don't want to compete. And
No,
that's one reason we sunset the consumer facing part. But yeah, we're just trying to save you some time, gray hairs, you know, get you more sleep so you can run the fun part of the business.
yeah, and that's, I mean, sourcing, buying, reselling, making money, that's all the good stuff. Okay,
Yeah.
so I want to ask you how, as a woman, you're a mom, you're a wife, you're a sister, you're a daughter, you're a CEO. How do you do it? Because I think this is something that we don't talk enough about, that it's not even just mental health, but it's the, you know, you get inundated every single day from every direction. How do you keep that in balance? And how do you, like, I'm a big believer, like, I know when I need to shut off, and I do. I don't
Mhm.
shut off for a week, but I
Good.
will get away from my computer. It's that self-care, but I feel guilty doing it. So, and I'm just me, you know, but you've got a million balls in the air. How do you navigate that and still not lose who you are?
Oh yeah. I mean, the word balance is impossible, I think. Let's
It
just be
is.
real. Um, I think I mean, I don't know. I think part of it is it's multiple things. So there's a lot to unpack in your
Yeah.
question. But I would say having a really good team has made a huge difference in me today versus when we first started, because it was, just me and my co-founder and a small team. And that was so much fun, but it was so stressful. It was
Yeah.
so much. Um, and then as we were growing, I realized the team, having that team really helps you get to that balance. That's really important. Or having great mentors, making sure that you're accepting help, because I think a lot of women and maybe men too, we want to just do it ourselves. Like you said, you're a control freak,
Yeah.
right? But we have to trust other people to help, trust other people to do what they're good at.
Yeah.
And you know what? It's okay if we fall, we just get back up. Um, Having a really great supportive network, personally, um, family, friends, like even if you don't talk to them every day, the love is there. That
Yeah.
like, yeah, that means so much. And then just, with the kids and logistics, like I'm not gonna pretend I do it all. Like I have a great nanny, and I think the first thing to do is don't be afraid to ask for help. No one is judging you on asking for help. I mean, if you came to me and you asked for help, do you think I would be like, oh, you're weak sauce, No, I would want to help you.
Yeah.
And so I think part of it is just, and this took a while for me to get there, but realizing that you don't have to be a superwoman because I think we I think we put this preconceived definition of female CEO, warrior, I think there is a lot of, a support that goes around being a female CEO or any CEO.
Yeah.
There are people along your journey that pull you up and help you. And so hopefully, I'm helping others, being a part of their journey and getting them up there. I don't know if I'm articulating this right,
Oh,
but
you are. You
okay.
are.
And then just mindset is a big thing too.
That's huge.
It's
That's huge.
huge. It's huge. And having the mindset, because sometimes when I everyone knows it's hard to be a female founder, and one of the biggest challenges is
Yeah.
fundraising capital. And part of the challenge, like in any other industry that was male dominated, like in finance or law, where men uh, dominate the industry and hold positions of power, um, it really you have to have the mindset of being confident. And I think one thing to be careful of that I would want to share and that I've learned is, it's so great to understand and appreciate the uneven playing field, but don't get sucked into it too much because it can eat away at your confidence. And
Yeah.
confidence and having that mindset is actually half the battle.
Yeah. Agree 100%. And I think this is where, as women, no one can be more critical of us than we are to ourselves.
Exactly.
So I've always, I don't know what it is, but I've never cared what anybody else does. Do I know what everyone else is doing? Absolutely. I am like the best stalker in the world. I want to know what's going on. I just don't, I don't comment, I don't put stuff out there. But I have to, and I learned this the hard way. Trust me, I've had my ass handed to me several times. I have a vision of what I want to do, and I'm going to keep moving forward. I don't care what anybody else is doing. I don't care how they're doing it. I have ideas in my head. And for me, because I've done a lot of firsts, I've never cared like you have. You built Snob Swap. Now you built LePrix. It doesn't matter what anybody else is doing. If this is your passion pulling you, do it. Just go for it. But I think the key thing is surrounding yourself with people. Like, I don't have a young child, so I don't need anybody helping with that. I don't need to fundraise. I don't need that. But if you're just starting out or you're on this journey by yourself, meet people, talk to people. There's so many amazing people out there that don't know you but want to see you succeed.
Right.
You know,
And
and it's it's a matter of getting out of your comfort zone and just really believing in who you are. Like, look, have I had major successes and major failures? Absolutely. I like the failures better because I learn and I grow. Do they hurt? God,
100%.
yes. But it makes me a better person. And in turn, I can help more people. And
Exactly.
with what you've done, it kind of seems like it's the same path. Like you had this vision and you're like, how do I shop the best stores out there? You built SnobSwap. How do I make it easier for people to buy wholesale or for companies to buy
Yeah.
wholesale? Here's LePrix. And I think your theme is believing in yourself and surrounding yourself with great people.
Yeah. And, and this is why Luxury Resale Association is so awesome, because this is where, as it grows, I know you just started it, but it's going to be a great community, a network where, people that have the same passion as you, who want to build a good business, can come together and lean on each other and share tips and everything. But yeah, it is a mindset. I think a
Yeah.
lot of the times, I know for myself, I can get in my own way. And so I talk myself out of something. Um, and also just, I have to remind ourselves, like, we got to be nice to ourselves. Uh,
Yes.
I know I have kids, I have a husband, and, I do sacrifice time eating dinner with them.
Yeah.
But it's really not about quantity of time spent, it's quality. And my cousin helped me notice that, because she's a stay-at-home mom, which is the hardest job ever
Yes.
to and she reminded me it's about quality, because you know what? She said her kids come home and they treat her like a piece of furniture. They don't even notice. And she cracks me up. But yeah, and it's so true. So, whatever I'm, it's a reminder, it's not easy, but just be in the moment. Quality time
Yeah.
is what I want to
And
be.
okay, so one thing I am going to say, and I don't care if anybody agrees, as women, we can't do it all, nor would we want to. Okay, because Elise and I talked about this the other day. If we're not right as women, as mothers, as wives, as whatever, if we're not right, no one around us is right. So, and it's not being selfish, but it's about, okay, you know what? I need 30 minutes alone, my phone off, away from the computer, just to gain my thoughts again. So, again, it goes to surrounding yourself with people that you trust to handle tasks. And, I know it's hard to delegate and to give up control, but those are just one of the things that you want to do to be successful in this industry. And then someone commented, but you can't really talk to people who are in the same business with you because they will be thinking otherwise. Sometimes I feel overwhelmed on what to ask people how they survive their storms, but they won't even make room. Okay, so I can attest that this is not true. Okay, and I'm just talking luxury resale. And again, I've been in this industry for a long time, and I probably know 90% of the business owners out there. 10% are assholes, and you don't want to talk to them anyhow. It's that other 90%. Hey, I'm going to always be honest with you. That other 90%, they want to see you succeed. And those are the people that have joined and are joining the Luxury Resale Association, because there's a community. Like, I have been friends with people like Elise or Anne Marie from Elite Repeat, or, there's Adele in Wales who has just killed it with her business. They're all sharing ideas. They all help. And those are the people that you want to surround yourself with. You have a choice. This is your business. You make the decisions. If you want help, there is help out there from people that have paved the path before you and have been very, very successful. You just need to find your tribe. And
It's right here.
that's
If
it.
you're here, yeah, if you're here and you're joining Deanna, you're with the right, this is the start of finding your right tribe.
Yeah.
And oh, go ahead.
Oh, no, no, no. Well, I'm just saying that there's, the majority of people out there are good. And this isn't, it's humankind. They want to see their neighbor succeed. They do. Those are secure people that know, just like myself, I know what I'm doing. I know I'm good. If somebody else tries to do the same thing, many have, many failed. You're not me. Okay.
Right.
And that's what I have to believe in. And that's what I have to move forward with. Elise has built something that no one else has. There's other companies that have tried to copy it, but they're not Elise and they're not LePrix. And that will keep her going for another 10 to 20 years. So look for your tribe, find it, and grow from that, because you will have cheerleaders out there. We are just building the biggest platform of them, so, but don't feel overwhelmed. Like, I had someone that I've worked with for the last couple of years. She owns a retail location, and she called me literally 2 days ago, sobbing like a child, sobbing, so overwhelmed. So, like, a guy came in, he wants to be her business partner, he's making all these changes, she doesn't like it, and we have a call set tomorrow. But I told her, remember who you are. Biggest thing, this is your vision, your dream, your business. Okay, that's what we're here for, is to help you. I was only on the phone with her 10 minutes, but I had her laughing, calm down. She felt really good. And we're going to get together and we're going to, go through all the changes she needs to make. This is what it's about, is having that support with you. I don't want anything from you. I want to see you succeed. And Elise is the same way. Like, we're providing support. Elise is providing you a platform to where you can stock your stores, buy what you want, when you want it, at the price you want. Like, what else do you need, really?
Yeah. Yeah. And that's absolutely right. And just hearing you say all these things is so comforting, because it doesn't have to be, we're going to help each other. We're at a point in this industry where we really have to come together, join
Yes.
forces, and make it really good. And so that doesn't work unless we're helping each other out.
That's
Uh,
what it's about. At
yeah.
the end of the day, we're all humans. We all have, we want to build a nice life for ourselves and our families. We want to do it doing something we're passionate about. But oh my God, if all the good ones come together, imagine the force that we are. We can,
Yeah.
the whole goal is to make
Mind-blowing.
change for us. Yeah.
Right.
Okay, so now I want to talk about the future. Like, we know right now, this industry, there's a million people jumping in, which I love. The more the merrier. Counterfeits are dupes, whatever you want to call them, are the scourge. Like, you want to buy them, that's fine, but educate yourself to understand what this funds. Where do you see this industry growing and changing, and kind of where, I know it's impossible to say where you see it in like 5 years, but kind of where do you hope LePrix is in that time and the industry?
Yeah. I mean, I think everybody knows, especially on this call, that resale is the future of fashion.
Yes,
And,
forever.
Bain and all these really reputable consulting firms have done so many studies that this industry is just going to get bigger and bigger. And that's awesome.
Yep.
It's awesome for so many different ways. I know there's a lot of sustainability efforts and talk there that people are just tired of hearing, probably. But it's real. We're not greenwashing, sustainability, but it's real. It's impactful. Um, where I see the challenges, and I was just talking to one of our teammates the other day, is that they're like, you hit the nail on the head, counterfeits and dupes. Huge challenge.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you guys have noticed it, but social media has made it almost cool to buy dupes and counterfeit.
Yep.
And that is scary, because the younger generation, if they don't care about authenticity, then that that becomes, that actually endangers the value of the resale industry, of what
Yeah.
we're bringing. And so that's another reason to come together, even with the brands,
Yes.
is to make sure that it is not cool to be buying dupes and counterfeit, because you know what? Like, it is not cool to, the counterfeits are made by human, like people that are being trafficked most of the time, or
Yeah.
child labor. It is not cool. So there's a lot of education that we could do. And
Yes.
there's a lot of, and I hope this is something that the brands understand and hear, is that it's not about a brand we won't mention. It's not about going after small, medium businesses that are, in the resale space, that are trying to do the right thing,
Yeah.
trying to even grow the brand's equity in the space, even to, try their best to authenticate and make sure that luxury still holds its value. The brand should be looking more at the counterfeiters,
Yeah,
the
someone just
dupers.
said, why aren't the brands going after the dupes and counterfeit companies? I see
Exactly.
them being sponsored, the post on Instagram, and this is not right.
Yeah, exactly.
Well,
Why
the
aren't they going
platforms,
after Google for,
well, they don't, because they're like Facebook or Instagram, Meta, whatever. They just provide the platform. They have no control over what people post. And at the end of the day, it's all about money. So like LRA hasn't even
I
officially
don't think that's
launched.
true. They can't hide behind that. Oh, it's not my
That
fault.
needs to change. Okay, so what we want to do with LRA is to get this forefront, get this in front of the people that make the changes. And I will do whatever it takes to do that, because they need to be held accountable. They need to set up, and have me run it, set up a panel of people that can alert them. Like I just joined a Facebook group. There's 56,000 people. This young woman who's a mother, she has little babies, posting all day long all the counterfeits she's selling. So that's a felony. Okay. Why she's still able to get away with this? It's not just, I'm not even going to get started on that one. Okay, so somebody also said, I think also the new Dior scandal has people thinking even more that buying counterfeits are okay, because the real deal comes with humanity issues as well. That's bullshit. Okay, the humanity issues, from Dior to children chained to tables in underground factories, is completely different. Dior's greedy. $57 to make a bag and charging 3,000. But guess what? They can do whatever they want because that's their brand. I'm going to say one more thing and then I'm going to stop talking. Think of it this way. If you created something that you poured your heart into, you got a trademark on it, you start selling it, and then somebody else comes in, rips off your design and sells it cheaper to where your sales just drop. It's no different between you doing this and Louis Vuitton doing this. It's the same across the board. Don't steal. Don't steal somebody else's ideas or trademarks. That's what the problem is. And it doesn't matter how much money they make. That's them. They're also 100 years old. They're successful now. Buying a dupe or a counterfeit does not make that right, because you don't want to give them any money. Like, all right,
Yeah.
another
Well, I
question.
mean, just one thing. I mean, I
Yeah,
do
sorry.
think they did it to themselves. And there's
Yeah,
another
100%.
brand that the quality, if they want to be held to, if they want to keep their brand equity, their luxury,
Mm-hmm.
they need to have high standards.
Yes.
And so that they did it to themselves. And it's such a shame, because Bernard Arnault like really made Dior.
Yeah.
And the lady bag came right after the Diana bag that Chanel made, right? The Princess Diana bag, right? And Dior made such a great brand for itself, and I love the brand. But gosh, how disappointing when you hear that a brand, and not all the brands are like this, but when you hear a brand skimp on materials and quality
Yep.
and, you know, not do the right thing with their labor standards. Like, I agree, it's different. Like the counterfeit, way worse, way worse.
Yeah, it is. And look, the only thing fueling this is greed. It always stems from greed. But it's a good thing for us because it's pushing people to buy pre-owned, to buy older bags, vintage bags, when the materials were better, when they were manufactured better. This is, okay, three things. Number one, this industry is unlike any other industry out there. You cannot compare luxury resale to any other industry. This industry is not going anywhere. Just like Elise said, it's going to continue to grow. No matter what happens in the world, women are always going to want to buy a bag, and not just one. They're going to want to fill their closets. Okay, somebody had a question. Are items that are inspired by luxury brands considered counterfeit as well, or is that a different category? Inspired, like what you see
I
on
would say inspired by, yeah, I mean, depends on what they look like, but yes, it's usually counterfeit. Because if it causes consumer, I'll put my nerd
confusion.
lawyer hat on. If it causes consumer confusion, you know, someone's walking down the street and they see a bag and they think it's a real Hermes or Chanel, like that probably is counterfeit. If it's something similar, I think Michael Kors does a lot of similar inspired styles, but they have their MK branding. It's not as confusing, but
Okay, so
you
I've
know,
seen on Walmart, it's
yeah.
literally a Damier Azur never full tote, but it doesn't have Louis Vuitton on it. But if you look at it, you automatically think, oh, that's a never full, but it's, who knows who made it. Would that be considered a counterfeit?
Good question. I mean, I think it goes back to the consumers. Are they confusing? Are they buying it because they want people to think it's a Louis Vuitton bag? So it does come down to the trademark issue.
Yeah.
And that's like, you know, for a whole nother webinar, but
Oh God,
that's
yeah.
a good
Yeah.
question. Yeah, that's a whole different topic.
Yeah. Okay, so sorry I hijacked that. I get so excited. When what do you see? Where's LePrix headed? And what do you guys want to accomplish? And what do you personally want to accomplish in, say, like the next 5 to 10 years?
Yeah, I mean, LePrix is headed. You know, we have a lot to do. We really just want to build a good business that brings value to our partners, where we're needed, you know, and where we're helping elevate and innovate the resale space.
Yeah.
Um, and that's what would make me happy. If I die tomorrow, that's what would make me happy.
Well, don't do that, but
And
I get it.
but yeah, I mean, I think that the future is really bright for everyone. We have to just do our best to design it so it's as bright as it can be. And it's gonna go through some, you know, ups and downs. You know, everybody, not just this industry, is probably on the online side anyways, is gonna, you know, you're normalizing from COVID trends,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Our customers, like our individual customers are now really focused on travel and eating, and that's okay, but luxury will always be there.
Always.
We just have to keep a long-term perspective that, you know, it's a long haul game. It's not, you know, oh, I had a bad month or a bad season. Like think longer term. Uh,
Exactly.
yeah. So I do think there's going to be ups and downs, but it's still going to go up, you know, in growth. There'll be consolidation in the space.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of maturing to do. There's nothing that much different from this industry than the growing pains other industries have gone through.
True. True. Okay, so then my last question for you, what advice would you give someone just getting into this industry?
Okay. Um,
I know, so easy, right? Just Easy questions here. Or
Well,
what
one,
would you what advice would you give your younger self just starting
yeah,
out?
okay, younger self. Know know what it will take to build an online presence. Um, it is a lot of work. It's
Yeah.
not, my younger self thought, okay, we turned it on, we build it, people will come. Mm-mm. No,
Yeah.
it takes a lot of time and money and branding and, you know, uh, resources to grow it, and that takes a lot of planning.
Yeah.
Um, I would say, there's nothing. I'm telling my younger self, there's nothing wrong with slow and steady.
Love that.
Building a good business,
Strong foundation.
yes, it's not about. Yeah, if you build a strong foundation, you're gonna last, right? And so I think that's important because you hear a lot of noise about, oh, this company raised this much money, or this company is growing so fast, and do your thing. It's
Yeah.
good to know, but focus on what's important to you. Focus on your your own business. And,
Yeah.
of course, you want to know what's happening around the landscape, but yeah, and make sure, and I still need to work on this, but make sure you think about your customer. Like, and the purple cow. I don't know if you guys have read the book by Seth Godin
No.
or Godin, I don't know how to pronounce his name, but the purple cow. The purple cow means, like, imagine you're looking in the field and there's a bunch of cows, but there's one purple one. Make sure you're that purple cow. Make sure you build a remarkable business and that you stand out, because that is what's gonna, that is what's going to differentiate yourself from the many different other, businesses out there. Like, what is your purple cow? Um, and at the end of the day, what are you really selling? For LePrix, it's probably convenience. We want to sell convenience so our partners can focus on their business, the
Yeah.
important parts of their business to grow. Um, is it the thrill? Is it a good deal? Is it having a unique perspective of what you're offering? It could be anything, but yeah, I could probably sit here and talk all day with you. I know we're running out of time.
Yeah, no, I love the purple cow reference. I haven't read that book, but it's true. And remember, what you're offering as a business owner is unlike any other business owner. So remember that, and remember your dream, and don't look, you're going to take hits and it's okay. Give yourself a moment to cry or do whatever, or go for a run, whatever it may be, but get back up and take the lessons. Always look back and take the lessons and move forward. And,
Exactly.
everything is going to be okay, but find your tribe, because those are the people that are going to lift you up when you're having hard days and really cheer for your success.
Exactly. And don't be afraid to pivot.
Oh my God, pivoting is, see, we could go on for another
Healthy.
2 hours
Yeah,
about
we could.
this.
We could.
Thank you so much, Elise. I just adore you, but thank you so much for joining us today. Um, I'm I'm just in awe of how you've built
Likewise.
and pivoted, and just, I mean, and I know big things are coming from LePrix. So just thank you again for being with us today. And if you guys have any questions, you can reach out. It's leprix.com and then luxuryresaleassociation.com. Thank you for joining us, and everyone have a great day.
Thank you for
Bye.
having me. Bye, guys. See you soon, hopefully.